I'm saying goodbye to 2020 by burning a 2020 candle made with a 3D printed mold. I embedded a handmade ornament inside, made from sheet metal. The little dumpster fire is revealed as the candle burns. I was inspired by Pyro Pet candles, which have a little sheet metal skeleton inside. Keep watching to find out how I made it. I had the idea that I should be able to 3D print a mold for liquid wax to make this candle. See, the melting temperature of the wax is way lower than that of the PLA filament. I had made soy wax candles in the past, so I pulled out my candle making supplies and did some research online. I found out soy wax is much too soft to use for casting. It won't pick up fine details or hold its shape after demolding. My research suggested beeswax or paraffin are more suited to molding into freestanding pillar candles, but that beeswax is notoriously sticky, making it difficult to remove from molds, so I chose to start my experiments with paraffin wax. You can find a complete list of supplies for this project at the link in the description. I modeled the mold using Tinkercad. I started with an SVG file I made in Illustrator for the basic 2020 shape. I extruded this shape for the basic candle design and added a block to fill in all the voids and make it so the numbers are only sticking out a little bit from the rest of the candle. Then I turned the whole candle design into a hole instead of a solid and grouped it with a larger shape that becomes the mold itself. I split it in half and added some channels and ridges for alignment so that the mold could be removed from the candle. I didn't add a bottom to the mold since I planned on using a different material for the floor. I printed the parts in orange PLA filament on my Creality CR10S Pro 3D printer. It took about 10 hours to print using 20% infill. Before I could even think about adding the metal bit inside, I needed to figure out if this technique would work in the first place. I had concerns that maybe the PLA would distort, that the mold might leak, and that the candle might just not come out of the mold cleanly. To prepare the mold, I first glued one side of it to a flat piece of plastic I got from some recycled packaging. You could use what you have around, maybe like a plastic clipboard or a piece of melamine. Then I secured the wicks to the floor, also with hot glue, followed by the other half of the mold. I added hot glue on the outside of all the seams. When that was set up, I tightened up the wicks and secured them in place at the top of the mold with these special wick holders. The wax melts over a double boiler. At first, I used a candy thermometer for taking my wax's temperature, but it's too slow for candle making. Later, I switched to using my multimeter's infrared thermometer. You could also use an instant read meat thermometer. To mix in the powder dye, I first mixed it with a little rubbing alcohol, then poured it into the melted wax and stirred until well combined. The alcohol actually just evaporates off. I poured the wax when it was still very hot, between 160 and 175 degrees Fahrenheit. Lots of little bubbles escaped during the first few minutes after pouring. The candle took hours to cool and formed a decent sinkhole in the middle when it did, because it shrinks. I just heated up the leftover wax in the pouring pitcher and topped off the candle a few times over the course of the next several hours. This project is part of a collab with my friends 8 Bits and a Bite, Make It and Fake It, Hannah Makes, Ian Sharness, and Natasha from TechnoChic. Watch all the ways we say goodbye to 2020 at the playlist in the description, including our dramatic supercut. The next day, I removed the hot glue by applying some rubbing alcohol. It releases the bond so it comes off like magic. I carefully wedged my awl in the alignment grooves to separate the two halves, and then delicately pulled each half off the candle. To my delight, it came out almost perfect. I added info about some less successful tests in the write-up for this project, which you can find at the link in the description. Testing success meant the metal bit inside got the green light. I created a dumpster fire ornament design in Illustrator, then printed it out and pasted it to a piece of 18-gauge sheet brass. It's a Christmas tradition to add a new ornament to the collection every year, so the flame-kissed dumpster fire will always remind us of what a year it was. I cut along the template using a jeweler's saw. I didn't bother too much with sanding or filing on this piece, but if you're interested in learning more about this type of small metalworking, you can read my tutorial on the subject. I repeated the process of prepping the mold and pouring the candle, adding the brass piece right before the wicks. I weighed my test candle to see how much wax was needed, and it came in at a whopping 750 grams. That's over 1.5 pounds of wax. To light the candle, I created an automatable fire starting device using a model rocket starter and some flash paper. The idea was that our collaborative projects are all triggered by the same text message. But without enough continuous fuel to ignite the wicks, this trick was all show. I'll admit I had to fuss with it a little bit during this time lapse to get it to burn evenly. The size and placement of the wicks, as well as the thermal properties of the brass, are all factors in how it melted down. The ornament, now freshly blackened by the flames, joined the other Christmas decorations. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel with the bell to be notified of my future uploads. I want to thank you extra if you're subscribed here or to my email newsletter, or if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter. Your support is what keeps the projects coming. Special thanks to my patrons on Patreon for so directly supporting my work. Happy New Year! See you next time.